welcome to YourPedia, and this is Shubha. And today this video is going to be on the 10 most important high frequency words of this week, right? So I'll be just jotting out all the important discussions, where the particular word should be used, what are the synonyms. So keep on learning the words based on the high frequency words. This is going to be very important for the GRE module, right? So let's get started, and the 10 words of this week are: first is your approbation, second is appropriate, third is arbiter, arcane, archaic, ardent, arduous, arrogant, articulate, and artifacts. So these are the 10 words which we are going to do. First, see, these words you will not be able to understand in one go. Just listen it carefully. What are the synonyms, where these words are taken from? So these words are entirely taken from the Manhattan. We are covering 61 to 70 of this exercise, and previous to it we have already done 1 to 60 of the vocabulary words. Clear? Now let's do the very first word, and it is called as approbation. What do you mean by approbation is, like, when I am approving something, when I am praising something, I giving, you can say, assent to something, that is termed as approbation. So approbation means some kind of a consent, some kind of an approval, some kind of, you can say, acceptance. So that is termed as approbation. If I am praising about something, it is approbation. Clear? So here it is. What is the meaning? To gain approval, to gain confidence, to gain acceptance, to gain praise. So how to use it? Like, suppose if I'm saying with my mother's approbation, I can sleep over at your house, like at your friend house, because I got the acceptance, I got the, you can say, my wish was granted that yeah, I'm approbated, that I can sleep, or I can go to my friend's place, or I can go to my friend's party. So approbation, the very first word, and it means a kind of a praise, consent, or approval. Clear? Now let's move to the second word, and second word means is appropriate. A very normally used word which you already used a lot in your conversation. Appropriate means something that is suitable or something that is proper according to the circumstances. So that is termed as appropriate. Something you say कि बिल्कुल सही है, बिल्कुल जायज़ है, बिल्कुल ठीक है, तो that is appropriate. Something that is suitable, right, proper, that fit, that befit, that opportune, or that sees that mark, so that is termed as your appropriate. बिल्कुल ठीक होना. So what is the right definition of appropriate? Appropriate means some kind of a right or suited for a particular situation. When you are right and you are suited for a particular situation, that is termed as appropriate. Her speech on retirement was appropriate for her middle-aged audience. कि बिल्कुल ठीक थी. The way it went, it was very fine. It was very right. So this was the meaning of appropriate. बिल्कुल ठीक होना. First was approbation. Approbation का मतलब क्या था? When it is a kind of a consent, a kind of an approval, a kind of an acceptance. Right? Let's jump to the third word. Third word means is arbiter. What do you mean by arbiter? Arbiter is the person who, you can say, settles a dispute or has ultimate authority in a matter. Like if I say the two friends fought with each other, a kind of a judge or someone who settles the dispute can be called as an arbiter, right? Someone who's a trendsetter, model, role model, someone who helps the people that to resolve the fights, that can be called as an arbiter, right? So what is an arbiter? One who can settle a disagreement between the parties. Two parties are there and we are settling the argument between them. That is termed as arbiter. An arbiter will help the divorcing couple come to the terms on settlement. Like if the couple is getting divorced and you have to come on a settlement, who will help you? The judge or the arbiter or someone who solves the problem. So third word is arbiter, someone who settles dispute between two people. Now the next is arcane. What do you mean by arcane? Arcane means when that is something that is a very mysterious, something which is understood by a very few people, right? So something that is mysterious or something that is understood but by a few people, that can be called as arcane. So something that is occult, mystic, hidden, secret. So that is your arcane. What are the words for arcane? It is understood by only a few people. Because it is not taught in school, people are concerned that cursive writing become arcane because many few people will understand it, because right now we are just typing on the laptops and all. कोई लिखता ही नहीं है, कोई राइटिंग स्किल्स ही नहीं है आजकल के बच्चों में, तो दे हैव दिस थिंग कि बहुत कम लोगों में ये आएगी और जानी जाएगी और बहुत कम लोग इसको समझ पाएंगे, बिकॉज एवरीवन इज सो यूज्ड टू fonts in the computers and in MS Word, so that is there, right? The elder teacher had an arcane way of teaching mathematics, so everyone has kind of a different way. नेक्स्ट इज योर व्हाट आर द अदर वेज ऑफ आर्किक. आर्किक का मतलब क्या होता है? कोई चीज जो बहुत पुरानी है, समथिंग दैट इज वेरी एंटिक, समथिंग दैट इज वेरी ओल्ड, समथिंग दैट इज आउट ऑफ डेट, और यू कैन कॉल इट एज ओल्ड फैशन. मतलब पुरानी हो चुकी है, आउट ऑफ डेट हो चुकी है, दैट इज योर एशियंट, primitive, antique, absolute, so that is termed as archaic. Old and no longer useful. Because my archaic computer is no longer useful to me, I am giving it for free because it is very old computer and I don't know use it. तो मैं उसको free में दे रहा हूँ. तो archaic का मतलब क्या हो गया? कोई चीज़ जो बहुत ज़्यादा पुरानी है, that is called as archaic. First 5 words done. Let's revise once again the 5 words. First was your approbation, a kind of an approval, a kind of a consent. Second was appropriate, that is बिल्कुल ठीक होना, right, proper. Third is arbiter, a person who settles a dispute between the two people. Fourth is your arcane. Arcane means something that is very mystic, very mysterious. A very few people understand it. And the fifth was your archaic. Archaic means something that is very old-fashioned, outdated. Next is your ardent. What do you mean by ardent? Ardent is a person who is very enthusiastic, passionate, burning, glowing. So if you are talking about a passionate fellow, if I say she is a dash reader, she is an ardent reader because she loves books. So that is a very passionate and a dedicated person, can be called as ardent. Passionate, warm, forward, zealous, enthusiastic and avid, right? So ardent is feeling great passion for something, and you have to be an ardent learner for learning all this vocabulary, because soon you will have a mastery over this vocabulary if you will go like that, right? So it is when the rock star checks his mail, he almost finds 1 or 2 bizarre gifts from some of the ardent fans, like someone of the very supportive fans. That is termed as ardent. Next is your arduous. What do you mean by arduous? Arduous is a new word, and arduous means like earning, involving or requiring something very difficult or strenuous effort. Something that requires great effort can be called as arduous. Like something that is very laborious, hard, burdensome, tough, heavy, strenuous, that is termed as your arduous. So arduous means demanding great effort or labor, or it's difficult. Like high frequency words, they require great effort from your side. So they require great labor from your side. So that is arduous. Playing the piano may seem arduous at first, but it gets easier with practice. So it looks like a hard thing, but sooner 10 words each week, it will become very easy for you to learn them, right? So this is arduous. Next is your arrogate. What do you mean by arrogate now? Arrogate means that is taken or claimed without any justification. Like if I'm taking something, I'm seizing something, and I'm not even justifying it, that can be termed as arrogate. So arrogate is something that is seized, appropriate, taken, and I'm not giving justification why I took it. So I'm kind of capturing it. That is termed as arrogate. So here, to seize without having the right to do so, because I didn't have the right to take something, but I captured it only because I wanted it. The gang is trying to arrogate the public park and turn it into private space, right? So the gang, what they are trying is, they are trying to hack and they are trying to capture the public park. Next is articulate. What do you mean by articulate? Articulate means having or showing the ability to speak fluently. Like you are able to speak fluently, very slowly, that is to articulate. Like expressing, pronouncing, vocalizing, that is termed as to articulate. That is expressing oneself very, very clearly. Because John found it difficult to articulate his love for Jessica, he wrote her a poem about her feelings. So that is to articulate, to express or to speak about your feelings. Next is artifact. Artifact is the easiest word, and the last word, that is an object that is made by humans. Typically of historical interest, it can be something that is antique, but it has a handwork and is made by the people. So that is artifact. A handmade object that is often made by people, and it is an archaeological dig. The artifact I found in my background is an Indian arrowhead. So these are the 10 words which we did, and before the quiz section, like you get to know, I'm going to revise all the 10 words in a super easy, in a fast, in a quick manner. Let's go to the very first word, approbation. That means some kind of approval, praise or acceptance. Second, appropriate. That means some kind of a suitable or that is proper for a certain circumstance. Third is arbiter. Arbiter means a person who resolves a conflict or a kind of a judge between the two people. Arcane is something that is understood but by very few people, something that is mysterious. Archaic is something that is old-fashioned, outdated. Ardent is someone who is very passionate, enthusiastic, zealous or growing. Next is arduous, means something that requires great efforts, that is arduous. Arrogant means taking or claiming something, capturing from something without any effort, or you can say forcing something from someone. Articulate is when I'm expressing something very fluently. And the last is artifacts. That means an object made by human beings, typical of one culture, or you can say historical background, that is termed as an artifact. So these were the 10 words. Now let's start with the quiz, and I hope, like, I'll just show you the GIFs one by one and you are able to answer all the queries and the questions, right? And in case of any doubt, you are always welcome to drop in the comments. Let's do the very first. Now it's not easy. What is not easy? What is very difficult? If you remember it out, that requires a lot of effort. So what was the word? It was arduous, right? Next is these people are cheering. They are kind of a passionate followers. They are noisy people who are cheering. So they are the passionate fans. And what is the meaning of passionate? I gave you a word, and that is, if I am not wrong, it can be ardent, right? Next is, now the person is saying is trying to give a thumbs up, and it is trying that he's trying to give an approval. So what was the word of approval? It was a word that is termed as approbation. Next is, this is a human made thing which is quite antique and it is made by human hands and all. So that is termed as, if you remember the word, it is artifacts. Next is, that story is not suitable for children really. So they are telling us if the thing is suitable or not suitable, and that can be termed as appropriate. Now this is quite an antique thing and an antique building, so we can call it as something that is antique, old-fashioned, like something that is very unique and old, that is archaic. And next is, it's mine, you understood, like someone who is taking or seizing something without giving justification, it's arrogate. And here what the person is trying to say, a person is trying to say that I am expressing and I am saying something, a kind of a gif that you can just make a fun of. So it is like he is trying to articulate something, right? So articulate her emotions, or articulate is saying something like that, showing in the presenting manner, that is articulate. And something that is very mystic, very difficult to understand or understood by a few. So what do you mean by this? That is, I guess, that can be called as arcane. And the last is your, like a judge is there and he might be trying to solve a conflict between the two people. The word can be, I think it can be arbiter, and it was the easiest of all because I've already mentioned the judge and it's looking like a judge. So that was all, and these just were just to make you some kind of an entertainment, and I hope you understood these words. Do practice and keep jotting these words down so that one day you are getting a mastery over these vocabulary words. And this vocabulary words is important for GRE, other than your vocabulary, speaking, your even for the any exam preparation. If you are doing it out, there are only 1000 high frequency words, and do target them, do capture them, and you will do good in your examinations. Grow well and keep preparing, and in case of any doubts, drop in the comments. Always welcome to solve your doubts. Take care, have a nice day and learn more. Bye bye, take care.